Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's new film, which is winning every award at every film ceremony this year and which is a huge competitor at the Oscars with 13 nominations. The Shape of Water follows the life of a janitor portrayed by Sally Hawkins, which works at one of the United States' secret labs during the Cold War. At the lab where Eliza works, scientists have been keeping captive a huge and frightening creature which displays both human and fish-like features. The scientists treat the creature just like a monster, injuring it and carrying out experiments on it. Nobody attempts to understand its nature or try to nurture it. But one day Eliza stops to observe the creature, and as she can't speak, she tries to communicate with it with sign language. The two soon develop a curious and secret friendship, which was very dangerous because of the background to the whole story. But I will not reveal anything more to not spoil the plot. Compared to other names at the Oscars such as The Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Florida Project, The Shape of Water didn't stick with me just as much. But this is simply because of my personal taste. I enjoyed The Shape of Water, I just preferred other films which have been released in the same period and which are in the Oscar list. I am completely aware that this is beautifully made and that it has gained so much success and it is winning so many awards for a wide variety of well thought and well created features. In first place, we have examples of exceptional acting. Sally Hawkins created good at heart Eliza, who just wants justice for the creature and who sees beyond his monstrosity, his physical appearance. She argues that the creature understands her and welcomes her beyond her lack of the ability to speak, and she feels as if she has a special connection with it. Eliza is more of an outsider. She is very humble and reserved. She is a character which is strongly underestimated by everybody around her, scorning her reserved attitude and treating her lack of the ability to speak as a weakness, but she soon proves that she represents one of the strongest roles. One of the characters that looks down upon Eliza is Colin Strickland, the lead figure in the experimentation and control of the creature. He was portrayed by Shannon, which was absolutely incredible in his role. He was deranged, a control freak, more of a monster than the creature itself, and he was what brought a horror component in the film. I still don't understand why he wasn't nominated for Best Supporting Actor when Richard Jenkins was for a minor and less engaging role. Then we have exceptional effects, with the creature obviously appearing as marvelous and out of this world. Our mind develops that fantasy-loving effect of wanting something like it to exist, but still in a somewhat real, physical manner. For example, his scales realistically start to fall off when he is weak. He understands the rhythm of music, the concept of speech, the concept of communicating. He has an idea of a deep connection or friendship. I think in general the film has a very strong visual component, starting from the fact that our main character doesn't communicate using her voice, so everything else must heavily rely on the visual aspect, thus fueling our awe towards the creature, which Colin Strickland describes as something the communities on the Amazon worship as a god. Director Guillermo del Toro explained that he has a fascination towards monster characters and horror stories featuring them, such as Frankenstein, Godzilla, so on. And in The Shape of Water, we are definitely in awe in front of the creature. On the one hand, we're afraid of it, on the other hand, we love it, but the main feeling is definitely fascination. This creature is like a god. We know nothing about it. We are just taken aback by its enigmatic beauty, its strength, its mystery. In general, The Shape of Water has a widespread variety of features which will appeal to all audiences. We have the incredibly romantic story of friendship and love, the horror aspect of the secret lab in the 60s, keeping a creature hidden like an alien or a monster, the heroic ideals of wanting to save the creature, the fantasy aspect of it interacting with humans, and so on. It's nearly like a fantasy fairy tale but for adults, with all the violent component, the sexual component, the constant reminder of an ongoing Cold War. For certain aspects, this film reminded me a little of Arrival by Denis Villeneuve, in which when confronted to something different, unusual, uncommon, the human race immediately reacts with violence, a defensive mode. And this is exactly what happens in The Shape of Water. Nobody even stops to question whether this creature has good intentions or bad intentions. It's simply labelled as a monster, something dangerous, something which must be contained, or something which can be implemented for destructive purposes. So when I say I didn't like The Shape of Water, it doesn't mean that I don't recognise it as an exceptional film. I'm just saying it's simply not my kind of film. I wouldn't pick it to watch it again, let's say. This film actually stimulated my curiosity to watch Pan's Labyrinth, another film by Guillermo del Toro. Let me know what you thought about The Shape of Water with a comment here below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you soon. Bye!